Okay? Yeah, everybody's looking at you. You should have a problem with that. But why in the world, if our intelligence committee knew that we had a spy with a man on the intelligence committee, allow that to happen? Why?
All the media is liberal now. It's all liberal.
It's not just about the media. It's about those Republicans and Democrats alike that sat in that same committee. Right? So I thought about that. I said, you know, hell, if I'd known all this, because I really didn't know much about it, but I can assure you, tomorrow I'm sending a few messages out of why this happened and why they allowed it to continue to happen. If you got briefed that we had a spy and you knew this guy was having an affair and you still allowed him to be on that committee, that's a big problem. So it's hard to tell what they have. But anyways, I thought that was really crazy, and it just made me crazy. Because the same guy, if you remember right, he was one of the guys that stood up and started talking about Trump and all the things he was doing with the Russians. And you remember all that? So again, it's one of these disillusion things, right? If I throw it somewhere else, it throws you off. It's just like the Biden family right now. I think it's pretty deep. Do you all not agree?
It is deep.
It's deep. But when Biden gets in, he's the one that usually has to talk about who does what, investigations, right? He can stop investigation. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, I was looking at this Trump campaign, and I thought, this guy didn't have a chance. I mean, we knew ahead of time, and he knew ahead of time. He must have had enough information to know what? That there's going to be cheating, right?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Way in advance.
I didn't know earlier. Do you remember when they talked about the court in Pennsylvania said the problem is you should have filed in advance with your findings? I didn't know this, but they went to those courts beforehand with their beliefs of information, and were told that you can't come to court until you actually have findings. And then when they had findings, they told them they should have done it beforehand. I didn't know that, but that's on record. I read it today. And I thought to myself, how did we get in a state where we allow this to happen? I don't like it. Anybody here like it? I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. But here's what we do as patriots, right? Our voices right now are through who? Our congressmen, our senators, and so on. Right? We fail to do what with them? Communicate.
Or we let it go by.
Or we let it go by, especially Republicans. We tend to just let everything go. I don't think we're doing as bad as we once were. Howdy, how y'all? But anyways, we tend to just let it go by. What I'm asking you all to do as patriots from now on, stop letting it go by. Make yourself known. We've had enough speakers up here from a political agenda that have told us how to do this right. Right? Told us how to form a letter. And if you don't know how to form a letter, ask one of us who will help you form that letter. Right? There's a mechanism how you speak to people. I can tell you if you're screaming and hollering at me, I'm not going to listen to you. But if I'm methodical about my statement and get enough people to say something about it, we get action. This group has to take more action in that respect. Make yourselves heard early, make yourself heard now. I guarantee you, when I was reading about this information today on this representative for California, I thought to myself, there's another failure. One, nobody told us about it, right, until now. But the failure was internal of those guys and gals who we elect to tell them to watch this stuff, right? So I'm going to make my voice heard. That's one way we can act as patriots. And we can be effective. Just sitting here and listening, we're just listening, right? It motivates us to do something different. But what I'm asking you all to do is get on the phone, talk about it. If you don't know what these talking points are, we'll send them to you. We'll give you the information. But most of you are logical and smart enough to read, right? Well, there's a couple of you here I know can't read, but I'll read to you. All right? Well, that's okay. We'll help you too. Yeah, I know. But anyways, we will help you any way we can. But anyways, that's just some of the thoughts that I had today, and I'm not really the speaker. I'm just getting up here and talking about it because It just made me mad. The more I read today, the more I was frustrated. I'm frustrated about all this, and I can't see as Americans how we can allow all this to occur. And we have no control.
We didn't know about it.
Didn't know about it.
Didn't know about it till this damn. A lot of people, I didn't know about all this.
Now, I don't know if you guys, they're trying to do a reset. Everybody read about that? Anybody understand the reset?
Yes, sir.
Right? I didn't know it was as big as it was. I saw a clip, and it goes back to several presidents, but I seen a clip of President Obama get up, and he was talking to a group on this reset, and he basically talked about if they reset everything, now that most Americans are not bright enough to figure it out. He's absolutely right.
Yeah,
He's a smart man. He knows, listen, he knew that most Americans won't do anything. What have we done other than form groups? And we're kind of a disillusioned groups at that, right? We've got little pockets of cells of a lot of men and women. We haven't put ourselves together as one team. That has to be another thing that we accomplish. And it has to be done quick. It has to be that we know in every city, in every state, what teams are out there, what Patriots are out there. So the message is shared. But we got to take some form of action. So if anything, there's a couple of things I take away. Write to your congressman, write to your senators, talk about the things you don't agree with. Definitely need to talk about how they allowed this Democrat representative to be on the House Intelligence Committee while knowingly having an affair with a Chinese spy.
You should have been kicked off at all.
They're all in bed with the Chinese, man.
I got you, brother.
That's not all.
But again, they're accountable to us. We could say this all day, but sitting here, this is what we do. We'll sit here and say, yeah, it's always going to happen. But you have to make your voice. If the voice is raised in a great number, they tend to listen, right? If we raise our voice one and twosies, we're just a nuisance. All right? We have a lot of patriots out there. Lots of patriots, right, Bo? And we all have a big voice. We can all make things happen. Now, what we've got to do is figure out how we become one team, not 1,000 teams. We come with one message, not 1,000 messages. We come and we make ourselves known, and we make ourselves understand. And another thing, tap right back into our Christian community and start teaching them it's not about the man or the person, it's about the policy. Right? No matter who you are, it's about the policy. Yes, sir.
I was told, I don't know if I'm thinking how to turn or not, but I was told that Trump could declare martial law.
Martial law? I don't know about that. I think a lot of it's rumor. You'll see all kinds of rumor.